All right, an update on the Apex Model 80. I am now at 114 or 114.6 volts of AC. I am pleased that my indicator lamp is working like I thought. All of the filaments in these tubes came with the radio, so they're all suspect, right? But yeah, that's my multimeter saying time to check in. But they are all are glowing, and I was wanting to run this and find the settle in temperature for these tubes, and most importantly for this rectifier tube. I'll sit down here and get a little closer. I have a heat gun. This one is settled in around 200 degrees. All right, let's get this in focus here. 193, 201, 202, I saw 205 there for a second. Yeah, there's high score. A little bit on the back side there. Hard to tell exactly where this is sensing and whether this is sensing the glass envelope or whether it is sensing the filament. It's actually seeing inside the tube. But anyway, this is obviously the hottest tube, and it's been running now for probably 15 minutes. And it seems to be settled in. As you can see, it's 182, depending upon where you point it. I haven't got anything over 205. The red light on the top just says it's out of range. So I probably have a low and a high limit that I've got to reset on this gun. But so I'm kind of happy with this. 208, but it's not really climbing. Depends where you touch it, right? I've got 426 tubes, and they're all just idling. 80 degrees, 82 degrees. Here's another one, 81 degrees. The next one is 79 degrees. This one is 79.6. And this is the last 26 tube at 80 degrees. The 27 tube is my second highest score, 116 degrees, but that seems to be settled in and leveled out there, which I think is probably okay. And then there's the 271A tubes, which are also quite hot, 115, 100, 113, this one's 106, 114. So the 271As and the 27, it's hard to read there, but those are around 115 degrees. The 26 tubes either aren't doing their job or they're doing... Anyway, I think I'm to the point where the radio seems to be operating the way it should. I'm going to move on in another video onto my Utah dynamic field coil speaker. I want to just dust it off a little bit, make sure that rectifier doesn't have any cobwebs things. Running the there's a transformer that knocks down the voltage for the rectifier to make the electromagnetic field, because this was before the days of permanent magnets, right? So and I want to kind of creep up on this one to make sure that I don't see anything getting really, really hot, and then I can hook it up and give it some audio signal. But the cone and the voice coil seem to be free, not rubbing up against anything. So I'm really pleased with this. To find a dynamic field coil speaker in this kind of condition, unmolested, if you will, really pleased with this. So I want to be very careful and not push it too far. Obviously, the transformer is going to be an interesting test to see how hot that gets. But I'm pretty pleased. Back to the radio. I'm glad my dial lights up. That old original light bulb is still working. I have a spare 26 tube, but I think since they're all the same, it's not obvious, a weak tube. And it looks like the filament voltages, I think, are pretty consistent. But it basically needs to be, put the antenna on it, and we'll run a test here. But I'm going to just double check again my temperatures. And I'm pretty happy with this test. Come on, can I get a 200? The backside here. 206.7 is the high score. But that actually seems to be leveling out. So, as we were talking, we started this video, it was around that. Again, the 27 tube, it's 115. It seems to be settled in at that temperature. The 71As were at 115, and they're about that, still out there. The 26 tubes are 78, 77, 77, 80. Got an 80 out of it. So 81 degrees there, probably because it's pigeonholed between two 115 degree tubes. But yeah, I can start to feel the heat coming off of this. It's but quite pleased. So I think we'll wrap this up and slowly turn it down and turn it off and let it cool off.